Employers of Reddit, what's the strangest reason you've had for not hiring someone? The receptionist offered him a drink while he waited. When he came in, he talked for a good 2 or 3 minutes on how we should change our sodas to flavored water to keep our customers healthier. We have water and sparkling water if they opt for that. We are an office, not a restaurant, and I honestly don't care if my customers drink pure grain alcohol out there as long as their check's clear. His immediate criticism of a courtesy didn't just rub me the wrong way, but told me he would let his personal beliefs or preferences get in the way of his objective. I was interviewing someone to get paid to champion my agenda, not their own. At my old job, our online application form listed had, along with the resume and cover letter, questions about how the candidate exemplified our 4 corporate values, one of which was openness. Most people just left it blank. One candidate explained how open he was, thusly, I am open about my contempt for meaningless corporate bullshit like this question. I really tried to get him in for an interview, but HR saw that response and refused to schedule it. Resume included if there's something that's needed to be do, I be do. Was interviewing to fill 24 positions in a week, so had hundreds of short interviews planned. First day of interviews was pretty horrible, most were completely unqualified and it was not going well. In walks this young sharply dressed guy, fantastic resume, interview is going great and I'm about to offer him the supervisory role. Talk turns to compensation, and he excuses himself, I had thought to go to the restroom. Returns 30 seconds later with his mother. She proceeds to try to negotiate salary, benefits and vacation time, on his behalf. I was so stunned I just ended the interview and tossed his file in the trash. My wife fired a guy for drug abuse on the job. The next day the guy reapplied for his own job. Dude probably didn't remember working there. A couple of years ago, I was doing hiring for a call center that took pizza orders. Minimum wage, very little requirements for employment. We were basically looking for people that could talk, do a little typing and show up to work. Called an app for interview and the guy asked for a 7:30 p.m. interview. Unusual, but we were open till 12:30 and I was going to be there anyway, so I agreed. We are always looking for closers, so I figured this guy would be fine. It was the fall, and it had just started getting dark around 7 here when the guy shows up. He is literally wearing a black cape and giant black boots. This man is the palest person I have ever seen. He has his dyed black hair slicked back. I take him into the conference room, offer to take his jacket, but he declines. He is polite and answers questions well. At one point during the interview he laughs and I notice that his canine teeth have been modified into points. Honestly, at this point I have not written the guy off. He is intelligent, well-spoken and polite, so what if he is a little strange? The problem we ran into, however, was scheduling. He informed me that due to his religion he was not able to come to work during the day. In the winter, that is fine, he could come in at like 6 o'clock, but in the summer, starting a shift at 9:30 just did not work for us. I let him know right then and there that his scheduling requirements didn't fit for us, but if he changed his mind to give us a call. A while back, I went to a job fair at the community college to tell people about the internship at my office. A young lady stops at my table, asks what kind of jobs I have available, and hands me her resume. I look down to skim her resume. When I look back up, she has her thumb in her mouth. I asked her about her major, her previous jobs, her availability, and she answered all my questions while she sucked her thumb. Sad thing is, other than that, she was probably the most qualified person I saw all day. I was performing a technical interview with a person for a first-level help desk position. The guy was flying through the questions and was very intelligent and knew a lot about technology. When we were done I told the hiring manager that was in there with me that he got my vote 100%. The hiring manager told me she wouldn't be hiring him because at one point he mentioned that to figure out a hard problem he takes a moment to quietly build the scenario in his head to determine the best solution. She said, and I quote, "It's way too loud in here to do something quietly in your head, he wouldn't make it in here." Yes, the hiring manager was a complete idiot. The guy had a link to his personal website on his resume. Visited the site after the interview. Listed under dislikes. My company. Showed up for the interview wearing flip-flops with gnarly feet and gross toenails. Was wearing blue jeans that were 3 sizes too small, at least, muffin top with way too much skin showing over the waistband. A too small t-shirt she was about to fall out of, enormous hoop earrings and a really bad, dirty, nasty wig. When I asked her why she left her last job, she told me they wouldn't let her have our lunch breaks. I told her I won't either and dismissed her. This is someone who doesn't want to work. Who does that? I've told this story before, but my husband didn't hire someone because he admitted he was a child molester. He had written on his resume that he was a convicted felon, and when they asked about it he said the charges were from dating a 15-year-old girl. He was in his late 30s. Her parents had turned him in for statutory rape. The kicker was after the interview was over and he was leaving, he turned around, winked at my husband and said, "I'm off to buy some Girl Scout cookies." Apparently he was just a huge creep. Hiring for a front counter/retail position, we received a resume from a woman in her 40s who had very little real-life work experience. Her resume was 3 pages long, detailing her duties as a retail shop owner in Second Life. Along with some screenshots. Her avatar was dressed like a dominatrix. Unfortunately, we had to decline. Question: what types of things excite you? Her answer: men. I had a truck driver application whose Facebook profile showed him smoking meth and speeding down the road while waving a gun out the window. He also had dozens of posts talking about how the cops are trying to read his thoughts. He was missing 3 fingers from the left hand and 2 from his right. I own a wood shop. After a full 30-minute interview, tells me that when I run her background check, there may be something that pops up. And proceeds to tell me that she'd been arrested for stabbing her boyfriend in the neck with a letter opener after he tried to kick her out of the house. And that just last week she took the rap for her sister after she stole something from Walmart. Even after I gave her the "we've decided to move forward with other candidates" speech, she still calls regularly asking if I've changed my mind on hiring her.